Section 2, Angry Stack, Chapter 13, First Class Anger. The king must wear the crown, no matter how heavy it becomes. And in the end, he will realize that the crown was never heavy. His neck was simply weak, and the keys of the kingdom were in his hands the entire time. Garrett J. White. The Voice. You were triggered by something you were reading about with your business moments ago. What was it? I was reading through some reports on marketing and ad spend and the way that we're handling some of the money. Who are you angry at? Myself. Who sent you the report? Jeremy Finlay. So you're not angry at him. I am, but over the past 6 months, I found a shift in the way that I stack. Oh, really? What was that? I found that I got huge insights from stacking and getting angry and blaming other people who triggered me. But after 700 plus stacks, I started to notice that everything I was experiencing inside of the mega stack was really about me. It wasn't ever really about the other person I was stacking. So one day I made the shift. Instead of getting angry at the person I was stacking all the time, I started shifting it. I would make it about me right out of the gate instead of making it about others. It was like I was starting to feel separation between the man, Garrett J. White, and me. Like we were two separate beings or two separate people. I'm smiling. I know you can't see it, but I'm smiling. I'm smiling because you're truly playing this game of life with the stack at the highest level. This is the purpose of the Angry Stack. It's an opportunity to make the game about you and not about others. Once you have managed the rage, it's time to deal with the anger and the irritation that have nothing to do with anyone else but you. But this is very difficult in the beginning. This is why I didn't return until now. You truly weren't ready. But it is clearer than ever that you are now. Thank you. I feel ready. So back to your original question, who triggered me? Myself. By now, you know that if you're triggered, there is a story at play under the surface. So before we even look at the feelings, give it to me. What is the story that you're telling yourself under the surface that you immediately told in your unconsciousness when you saw the numbers on the report? I think it was something like this. Garrett has ignored the economics of the ad teams and marketing funnels with Warrior for too long, overpaid his teams, and ultimately given them way more credit than they deserve. Well done. Fast and efficient and direct. I can tell you've done this a ton, but I want you to notice something here. Inside of the Angry Stack, we're going to skip the release phase like you were used to doing inside the Mega Stack. This is because inside the Angry Stack, we shouldn't need the same type of release, and if we do, it's likely time to go to a Mega Stack. This allows us to identify the person and at the same time the story right out of the gate. Can you see this? Yeah. I don't think without reps of Mega Stack I could have identified the story so quickly for you at all. I know you wouldn't have been able to. That is why the Angry Stack is only a weapon we draw once we have a foundation of the Mega Stack. Do others need to do 1,000 plus in order to be ready for the Angry Stack? No. But it does mean they are going to have a foundation that they can operate off of with the Angry Stack. And you have that foundation, brother. Let's continue. You told me that you were the trigger. You also told me the story was, quote, Garrett has ignored the economics of the ad teams and marketing funnels with Warrior for too long, overpaid his teams, and ultimately given them way more credit than they deserve, close quote. What are the negative feelings that you've experienced because of this story? Anger, irritation, frustration. What initial desires or actions do you notice rise for you with these feelings? Jeez, I want to be angry at my marketing teams. I want to be angry at myself for spending the money but not actually measuring it correctly. I want to be frustrated and fucking done with the process we've been leveraging and the companies we've been aligned with. I want to scream at somebody. But the truth is there's no one to scream at but myself. And that's how it goes. When you are a dumb motherfucker that doesn't have any optics, you're fucked. I must have optics. This can't continue. Well done. I want to point something out here. That you did that is elite and not something I typically see from someone in their first Angry Stack. Notice how you use the statements that said, I want, I want, I want. Now that you point that out, yeah, I can see that. This is a very simple strategy for getting directly to the point of what you want while describing your initial desires. I want you to keep leveraging this strategy inside of your mega and angry stacks. I also want you to notice how you started already becoming action-based with your statements. You're just starting the angry stack, and yet you're already seeing the path of accountability and the path of actionable results. Next question. What are the facts, without feelings, about the situation that you have chosen to stack? Do you mean the document I was reading before you and me started chatting, and I was getting triggered and angry by? Yes. And by facts, I mean I want you to lay out what was happening that caused the trigger of you and the entrance into this stack. Keep your feelings and opinions out of the section as much as possible. Imagine you're a scientist who is just fighting to get to the facts. Clear. Well, here they are, the way I see them. I was sitting on a plane heading to London when I pulled up my Evernote and also some reports that were sent to me from this past week's ad spend and sales. I was immediately triggered when I saw $45,000 plus in ad spend on one particular strategy that I had canceled weeks ago, and yet my teams were still running it. So when I saw the numbers and I saw that aspect of my ad spend go straight down the toilet for the week, I was immediately triggered. I wasn't filled with rage, I was angry. And not anyone in particular, just angry at the situation. Then you came into the chat with me and, well, here we are. Great work. You laid out the facts. Again, remember, we're not looking for the truth. We're simply looking for the facts as you see them right now, through your eyes. And what the facts are for you might be something different for another person. Next question. Beyond the trigger of this situation, with the lost $45,000 and the screw up on the marketing team, what do you truly want for you? I want clear optics of the entire business. I want clear optics on my ad spend daily and the profits of each campaign with clear attribution back to the actual ads. I want a trackable scorecard with my traffic and conversions that all my teams in marketing and sales agree on and rally around. I want to have a simple conversation model or a conversion model for the students that allows them to move down the path of evolution as a student of ours. I want a clean CFO scoreboard for each company that allows me and Jeff to know daily to the dollar what's happening, and that allows us to make moves that support us in getting what we want. I want to go all in with keeping the seams and also course correct tier 11 so my traffic game is under control and we're not losing hundreds of thousands of dollars. I want to own a better project management system that allows me to track and hold my teams accountable to the shit we agree they are going to do. Boom. Elite execution. Look at how clean and solid you are with this. Do you remember how hard it was 2 years ago for you to even get clear about some of the simplest things that you wanted? Yeah, I do. What did you notice happen for you the last 2 years as you have gotten clear about what you wanted in almost every situation you walked into in business and life? Certainty. Man, I used to ride my emotions as a businessman, and it served me in some ways, yet in others, I would fuck everything up. Being clear about what I wanted has brought a focus and a clarity to the conversation for me. I'm immovable when I'm 100% clear and brought in on what I say I want. It doesn't matter who tries to oppose me, the certainty that I harness with this strategy makes me lethal. Remember, this as you go forward in life. Certainty is in exchange goes to the man who has nothing to hide and is the most clear about what he wants. Here is the next question. What is Mars' strategic story that you could create to assure you to get what you truly want? You mean the opposite or the me version? No. I want you to skip both of those. Inside the angry stack, you're not going to walk the block. There's no need to, when you're in anger, to invest the time and energy to create 4 different versions of the story. So we take the original one and get clear about what you want. Then we skip directly to the custom-generated new desired story that you know will get you what you want. Does this make sense? Yeah, it totally does. So I have the original story, which is Garrett has ignored the economics of the ad teams and marketing funnels with Warrior for too long, overpaid his teams and ultimately given them way more credit than they deserve. And I'm going to alter it to say Garrett has cleaned house the last 6 months, and through this has taken on the role of CEO and CMO, and for the first time in years, with the Warrior companies, the marketing and economics will have the 100% focus of the founder. Perfect. How does this new strategic story make you feel? Man, I feel clear. I feel called. I feel required. I feel period. I just feel the end. What evidence do you have that proves that this new desired story you just created is true and that it will work to get you what you want? The reality is this. I wanted to replace the roles I had played. I want things to run smooth. The truth, it was a fantasy. I wanted Cohen, my recently hired COO, to save me from my problems. And when he couldn't, I was angry. What the fuck, Cohen? Why can't you save me from myself? What the fuck's wrong with you? Yeah, I was pretty fucked up, but it was reality. So here in the new desired story, you're telling, quote, Garrett has ignored the economics of the ad teams and the marketing funnels with Warrior for too long, overpaid his teams and ultimately given them way more credit than they deserve, close quote. And here's what you say you want. I want clear optics of the business. I want clear optics on my ad spend daily and the profits of each campaign, but clear attribution back to the actual ads. I want a trackable scorecard with my traffic and conversion that all of my teams in marketing and sales agree on and rally around. I want to have a simple conversation model or conversion model for the students that allows them to move down the path of evolution as a student of ours. I want a clear, clean CFO scoreboard for each company that allows me and Jeff to know daily to the dollar what is happening and allows us to make moves that support us in getting what we want. I want to go all in with Keith and his teams and also course correct Tier 11 so my traffic game is under control and we are not losing hundreds of thousands of dollars. I want to own a better project management system to allow me to track and hold my teams accountable to the shit we agree they are going to do. Question: will this new story give you what you want? Yes. Question: armed with what you want and the new story to get there, what insight or revelation are you leaving this stack with? You mean we're done? No, but almost. Holy shit, this stack is way shorter. It feels like it would only take me 10 to 20 minutes versus 45 to 60 minutes as the mega stack takes. You're 100% accurate. Let's wrap it up, and then we can discuss the differences. Question: armed with what you want and the new story to get there, what insight or revelation are you leaving this stack with? I have invested 7 years to get the game to where it is. That has come with me heavily focused on building the base of the message, meaning I was focused on creating a curriculum that men could connect to and follow. 2012 to 2015, I proved the Warrior's way in the lives of men, the code and the core. I was a hustler in the stage. 2016 and 18, we have started to scale and spread the message. We also uncovered the mega stack with the guidance from the voice. I've been an entrepreneur in this stage. Heading into the rest of 2018-19, I'm locking the sustainable economics and profits. I'm in CFO, CEO mode right now. For the last 2 months, 2 to 3 years or longer, I tried to let go of the company to men who were not ready to lead. I tried to release the movement to the CTs, and they were not ready to lead. This was all back and firing on me in a big way. I was not ready to let go. The company was not ready for me to let go. The men I tried to hand it off to were not ready to take it, so we slid around. I've spent a shitload of money this year so far on my teams. We have a payroll of $600K a month. Yet the results I'm getting from many of the departments is not improving the game. It's actually making it worse. We're getting a ton done, but getting more done does not always equal progress. The way things are right now doesn't work for me. I'm going to shut down Warrior Woman, Warrior Wealth, and Warrior Trainer at the end of this year. They're all wonderful, but the timing of all of them is off. Now I see where we are, and although it's overwhelming as fuck, I know I have a window of opportunity to lay the foundation for the systems and money for Warrior companies in 2019 that will set the stage for a 20, 30-year run as the #1 training and education company in the world for married businessmen with children. But this will require focus. This will require me to slow down. This will require me to see that having more people on the team doesn't mean more profits nor more impact on the students. And the more revenue does not equal more profits. And more traffic does not equal more profits. And if these things are not profitable, the game dies. And the game will not die under my watch. There's no one who will care deeply as I do for this divine machine called Wake Up Warrior than me. Almost 6 years ago, I launched this movement with one man and with a camera and a desire to follow the voice. 30,000 plus clients for the past 6 years and growing, and the movement is just getting started. This is my time. Winter is my season. When shit gets heavy, I get even more committed. I will solve these fucking problems, bring order to our traffic and conversion and cash. I will clearly step into the game of deeper leadership with my teams, and they will either rise or be fired. The end. You were on a roll with that one. So, final question, brother. Question. As you sit back and survey the revelations and insights from this stack, what is a singular lesson on life you're learning from this angry stack? This one's intense for me. The king must wear the crown no matter how heavy it becomes. And in the end, he will realize that the crown was never heavy, his neck was simply weak, and the keys of the kingdom were in his hands the entire time. Now, that is scripture. When you get to a final revelation like that, what does it do for your emotions from where you started? I mean, I started getting triggered by something in business only to take myself on a journey for 20, 30 minutes with you down a rabbit hole that opened up so much truth for me, ending with this final statement. Ever since watching Game of Thrones, the HBO series, I have a deep visual in my mind of kings and thrones and crowns. So the statement is very powerful for me. But what's crazy to me is how much learning is going on for me inside of a simple trigger of irritation for me about marketing numbers. What did you see inside of this that is going to trigger you to do something different than what you were already doing? Easy. Lead. This series of questions allowed me to see some of the biggest fuck-ups I've been having in business this year. 1, scaling my teams too big, too fast. 2, handing off the leadership power too quickly to too many men who were not ready for the power and stewardship. Yes, I did not think that getting on the plane today, if you'd asked me back in LA, hey Garrett, how do you feel about your teams in the direction of Wake Up Warrior? My answer would have been, we're on fire. But it took an irritation inside of the numbers to spark the anger that allowed me to see through the facade of the facts. And the facts are, I must continue and get to continue to lead in critical moments and crucial seats in our company. I also get to start letting some people go as the organization is too heavy right now, and the payroll is way too heavy for the changes I need to make. I also could clearly see that I need to step back into the game with my ad teams and actually fire one of them and take their work on myself. I have preached from the rooftops the principle of not taking your hand off the wheel of marketing and sales, and yet what did I do? I took my hand off the wheel. Fuck. The crazy part, the numbers that triggered me were not even that big of a deal. But it was the universe trying to get past the guard of my mind and into my head and heart so it could speak to me. Is that right? Yes, 100% accurate. See, the universe and God have so much to teach you every single day about the direction and moves inside of your life. The challenge, you won't listen most of the time. Meaning, oftentimes, the moves that the universe knows you should make would never occur if we just simply gave them to you. So instead, I asked the qualifications and questions you were led to answer. And when you were led to the answer and found it yourself, you own that answer very differently than if I had just given it to you. Can you see this? Yes. How much of your answers today did you create because I gave you the answers? None. I mean, you asked me powerful questions, and I allowed myself to go and submit to the game of the angry sack and allow my irritation to be expanded to something that would reveal the next steps from my path in the process of business. I did all the work. You led me with the right questions, and there's a sense of ownership for the answers that I had because I was the one that created the content, not you. No offense. I love what you stand for and the support that you've given me thus far. It's been life-altering, but you didn't save me. You trained me to save myself. Yes. Now this is where a ton of Christians get triggered, also with that idea that a man can save himself. Let me respond on this. The reference to save yourself has nothing to do with the afterlife. It has to do with being stuck in this life and getting unstuck. Men are stuck as fuck. They may even be saved in the Christian ideology, but they are still slaves. The stack is no salvation. It is liberation. Salvation may be free, but liberation requires you to do the fucking work. And inside the mega and angry stacks, the work we are talking about is threefold. 1, to engage with the questions daily. 2, to go all in with your answers and create your own scripture. 3, to take immediate action on the revelations received. When you execute on these 3 simple steps, game over. I never imagined a series of questions could change me so quickly. So, what is the action you know you must take coming out of this stack? It's simple. 4, actually. 1, I must fire my ad team and bring it in-house. 2, I must also let 2 executives go in the next 6 months, Gus and Colin. 3, I must start transitioning Jeremy out of Warrior and into his next step in life. 4, I must take back control of the ad accounts and run the marketing and sales seat on my executive team. Those are some powerful decisions, brother. When you look at the clarity of the experience and the actions that you're now committed to take, what do you think would have to happen in the past if you had been triggered by some marketing numbers like you were tonight? What would I have done? Man, I would have gotten angry and then yelled at someone on our team and not even seen the 1% of clarity that I'm now seeing. This is the power of the angry stack. Once you have mastered the game of the mega stack, it's time to go hunting. Yet, the attack with the stack hunt. This means that you're back in harmony with yourself. So you're hunting for content every single day. The mega stack tends to be a reactionary weapon, while the angry stack tends to be an attacking weapon. So when you wake up every morning, one of the things I want you to do is hunt. Hunt for things that irritate you. Hunt for things that make you angry and eliminate them. This is when the game gets crazy. The mega stack is to train you for the use in emergencies. It's like a nuclear bomb. You may not use it very often, but when you do, game over. So what do you use every day? Your assault rifle. And your assault rifle is your daily weapon. I want you to transition from the mega stack as your daily weapon into your angry stack now as your daily weapon. You were trained first to be nuclear. Now you will have the ability to be tactical. What are you hearing me say? Wow, I'm getting it. The reason I got to a place where the mega stack was no longer working the same is because I had prepared myself to really attack. It took me years to get to a place where I had integrity and alignment with the night and light within me. Now, inside of that alignment, it's time to hunt. And I hunt down the things that make me angry and the things that irritate me. These are the moments that you, as the voice, have guided in custom scripture for me. Just like today's. I was triggered by marketing. But then I leveraged the assault rifle strategy, the angry stack, and went hunting to find the revelation I was missing. Yes, yes, yes. Now, take a deep breath. Good. Take another one. And one more. And well done. You have just accomplished the angry stack, and now have 2 powerful weapons at your disposal. For the next 9 days, I want you to hit the angry stack. Pick different topics across body, being, balance, and business. On your flight back to the States, I'm going to connect with you again and see how you did and see if you got to where I want you to emotionally be with the process. Then it will be a time to unleash the 3rd weapon to you. Are you clear? Yes. Now, order another Irish coffee, turn on a movie, and relax. You're too uptight. Right now, I want you to just let go and relax. You have come a long way in the past hour with me, and there is plenty of time to work when you get back from Europe. I want you to unplug tonight and be with you. Zone out with a movie or 2. Then this week, hit your angry stack every day. Enjoy your family, and I will talk with you on the flight back. Clear? Clear.